I'm sorry. To me, it's a waste of money. Local communities should be handling their own police duties and funding. It is not the federal government's role. To help me break down what goes into policing and how cops target crime is former Milwaukee County Sheriff and Newsmax contributor David Clarke. Sheriff Clarke, it's good to see you.
Thanks, Grant.
So we're going to throw billions of dollars now at police reform for a problem that I believe doesn't exist. What do you think?
Yeah, it's a big swing and a miss. But look, that's what the federal government does. They just throw money at things. And then when things don't seem to fix it or work, they throw more money at it. You know, look, police budgets are underfunded anyway. Most police agencies would take, the money that comes from anywhere, whether it comes from the state or the federal government. But here's the problem, and here's what the police really need. They need more aggressive prosecutors. What I always asked for when I was the sheriff of Milwaukee County was to send some of these career violent individuals to the U.S. Attorney's Office for federal prosecution, because you have more certainty in a charge being issued, that person being held, and upon conviction being sent to federal prison. Right now, the state prosecutors, the local district attorneys are not charging these individuals. Kimberly Fox, the state attorney of Cook County, Illinois, in 3 short years has dismissed 25,000 felony cases. So there's a revolving door here. The police are getting these people off the battlefield, off the streets, but then the prosecutor's office is putting them right back out there. So, the money, yeah, that's fine, but there's a number of things. There's always multiple variables here that are needed to get their arms around this thing. But again, you mentioned that figure on the property damage. Who's going to pay for that? I hear these idiots from Black Lives Matter say, well, it's only property. People have insurance. Insurance doesn't cover all this loss, and that's why it really, really chaps my rear end that the police in these situations stand down, they watch the looting, the property damage, the arson go unabated. So there's a lot of things that need to happen here, but I'll tell you what, in terms of the other thing that you mentioned, the misinformation about police. In 2018, there were 7,407 black homicides, black victims, most of those perpetrated by black suspects. In 2018, 9 unarmed black men were shot and killed by police. 19 white men were shot and killed by police. When you compare that to the black homicides, 7,407, that represents, what the police killed represents 0.01% of all black homicides. But the police are doing a horrible job, and this is the leadership part, not the frontline officers. It's the job of the chief, it's the job of the sheriff to market their agencies, and they're not doing it. So they're taking this beating about, from this propaganda and misinformation. And until they start to market it, I hired a marketing expert when I was the sheriff of Milwaukee County, and her job was to brand the agency, keep us out in the public in a positive light, and we would tell the story continually of the fine work that we were doing. You don't see that so much in with chiefs and sheriffs in terms of marketing.
Oh, and this hits home to everything that I've been saying, is that, it's sad that a police department now has to market itself. And the only reason it needs to do that is because it has a devious mainstream media that's out to get them every step of the way. The president, I want to run a soundbite. He talked about policing and police reform during a town hall last night. Take a listen, Sheriff.
There's going to be bad apples, so we have to weed out the bad apples. But we have to give the police back that strength that they had a short while ago.
And Sheriff, that's about the prosecutors. They want to scream and yell about gun homicides. Gun prosecutions under Barack Obama plummeted because they don't want to go after criminals. The last word, Sheriff.
Yeah, God bless President Trump. He's made it clear that he's on the side of law and order, and that means he's on the side of the police. We do not need any more police reform. I've been against that from the beginning. We are more professional, better educated, and better trained than any time in our history. What we need, Grant, is ghetto reform.
Yeah, isn't that the truth, Sheriff? And I can back you up on this because I've watched police departments over my decades in TV, and I've watched them get better and better and better. But the media's not going to tell that story. Sheriff, always good to see you. You keep your head low out there, and we appreciate all you do for us. Thank you, Sheriff.
I keep my head held high.